And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Welcome. Today is Tuesday, March the 7th, and what a night it was. Port Meridian really and truly has a lot to brag about. Number one, do y'all remember a guy named Todd Tillman winning The Voice? Last night, we watched our very own Holly Brand head to the show. Did y'all get to see it? It's great. I've known her since she was knee-high, and she's going to do great. What a great singer. We'll talk more about this morning coming up at 8 o'clock. I hope you'll come back and join us as we'll get your day going with a little bit of everything that is going on. So much to do. It's going to be a beautiful day. Into the 80s we go. We'll give you your forecast here in a moment. Now, Meridian overnight, and I've always said if you live in other parts of the area on the outskirts and towns, always let us know what's going on in your town so we can investigate to find out what went on. We don't know it without you. We have to have eyes everywhere. A lot of activity throughout Meridian. We've got the full details at 7 o'clock. Robberies, shootings, stolen cars. Oh, yeah, all of that. We'll go over it in detail this morning. We'll love to have your input. Join us back at 7 o'clock. We'll do it right here at Facebook. We'll also do it at YouTube. And you can also watch us on television if you'd like at Fox 30. Another way to reach us. It'll be good. And you can even do it on Twitter if you like. You can watch us there. Most of the folks follow us either Facebook or on YouTube. Have an account on both if you don't. You never know when one doesn't act right. You get a backup. Best way to do that. All right, let's start the day with some encouragement. We do need that, don't we? Let's head out to First Baptist there in Collinsville. See what good is being said today. I think it's about anger today. I think we've all got that, don't we?
Have you ever thought about how your perception of someone can keep you from seeing an important part of who they really are? I remember the first time I ever saw my dad cry. It was at his sister's funeral. I remember thinking how strange that was. I'd always seen my dad as someone who kept those kind of responses to himself. At the time, I thought my dad was just losing control. But as I grew older, I realized it was just my dad being a human being. We're that way with Jesus sometimes. For example, the idea of Jesus being angry just doesn't set well with some people. In Matthew 21, 12 through 13, we read how Jesus went into the temple area and drove out all who were selling there. He overturned the tables and benches of the money changers and those who were selling doves. He declared in verse 13, "My house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers." He was angry because the house of God was being dishonored. Yeah, Jesus was angry. That may not set well if we compare Jesus' anger to our own. Our anger is often tainted and motivated by sin. Jesus' anger, like every other part of his character, is consistent with holiness. Jesus didn't always respond with anger when he saw sinful things happening, but when our perception of Jesus has no room for him to be angry about sin, we miss seeing an important part of who he is, a holy God who has a holy hatred of sin. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. You haven't met our friend named Jesus, do so. You'd be surprised how much it can change your life. Good morning. I do hope you've got a smile. Nina, how are you doing? Glad to see you watching. Janice is up. Miss LaWanda, to Corey up, and Adam there in Louisville, Mississippi. Lamar joining us there from Kemper County. Hope everyone is having a smile. I've had 2 cups. We got to break out another one for me to make it through the day. Just a habit I've got. As we often do, and maybe I don't spend as much time as I should as we reflect of things that are going on in and around our nation that affect us, even here in the state of Mississippi and Alabama, where we're all close. Are you up to date yet on what happened at the United States border, Mexico? 4 Americans crossed the border, were kidnapped. Now, these folks aren't rich. We certainly hope that they're returned safety. One of the ladies that was in this that was kidnapped was going for a tummy tuck in Mexico. Everybody can relate to this. How many people have you heard say that they were going to Mexico to have things like this done? I talked to someone not long ago. It's a drastic difference in prices is why Americans do that. They've been kidnapped. They were yanked out of a minivan and drugged and more or less tied up in the back of a truck and driven off. We don't know what's happened. It's all at gunpoint. Don't go to these places unless you absolutely have to. We'll talk more about that this morning of the land of the free and the home of the brave. We hope that continues. We'll get into that. Also, maybe you've seen it, and I'll talk with Odie more about this. Have y'all seen, as new leadership took over the House in Washington, D.C., as we've heard for the last, 2-3 years of the January 6th episode? Well, after it was taken over, more video by Republicans, video was released. And as we did expect, I don't know if y'all have seen this yet. Remember the guy with the horns on his head? I don't know what he was, where he come from. I'm pretty sure he was not there to be nice. But as you look at the footage, he is led through the Capitals by the police. Each door opened for him. Oh, if I remember right, we were told that he stormed it, weren't we? Led right in. What we're told and what reality is sometimes way different, isn't it? Even here at home. It's been done that way for years. We try to bring you the absolute truth to the best of knowledge we can. But that's what went on with that. Watch the video. It's out there now. Tucker Carlson had it. I'm sure you can go to Fox News, or most news agency has got that footage now of him being led. And I am not kidding you. I remember watching that day of some of the doors being opened. That did happen. They'll release more footage of this. Maybe we'll find out what really went on one day. Let's see here. We talk about turbulence, and I didn't even, this is the first case of this that I've heard, turbulence. Now, we saw one on a airplane last week that was a commercial flight. People were injured. We now see that a executive, she was 55 years old. She served in the Clinton and Obama administration, was on a private jet. They hit turbulence. She has been killed. Can you imagine? I don't know if anybody's ever ridden on a plane and been in that, but it is a very, very scary moment. And a smaller plane, a jet, would take it worse than a 747. It's got more weight. I'm sure she was tossed from one end. She lost her life during that. It was over in New England that happened. That's how horrible that is. Jill Biden insisting this morning that she loves O'Hunter, and that even if they do an investigation into the finances, she feels that Joe's still going to run. Yep, we would expect that answer, wouldn't we? A lot more to talk about. That's just a touch on things that are happening across America this morning as you're waking up. 62 right now. We'll get into your forecast next, so you can find out everything there is. We'll be right back with more.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our communities efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as you're built-in, are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. Springtime is coming. You'll need one of those. This morning as you're waking up, no matter whether you're in Meridian or if you're further north from here, let's just back up and take a look at radar. This is serious. We need you to leave home earlier today, as all of this red, yellow, and I guess you'd call that orange, is all fog. As we dig into this from Quitman, Mississippi, look how thick this is. We start here in Quitman up from Shibuda, and that's thick here, but it gets worse all the way here. Let's turn on locations and talk about where you are this morning in relation to all of this fog. Over to Lake Edens, look how thick this is, and it'll even cover over to Paulding, to that portion. On up here to the Rose Hill area, lots and lots of fog. This eastern side is bad. Only at the Bay Springs Hospital is it not as bad. As we get over here, this will travel even out here to the Wynot area. Heavier, thick activity right up Clarkdale area as we cross into Lauderdale County. And this will cover all the way up Highway 39 here, almost to the intersection at North Hill Street. Out Highway 3019, look at this, all the way past 494 as you'll pass where the fire department is at Cicalina. It's still heavy, but that's the thickest we've got. Moving west all the way to downtown Newton, look at all of this. Now, as I said, as we go northward of here, look up here. Let's go to Philadelphia. up at Tucker, it's going to pick back up extremely thick fog, and this is going to be all through here. When you get to Burnside Park in the northern portion of Neshoba County, it gets thicker. As we travel east, back over past Ford Store, look at all of this area here, out to Disciples Mills, Kemper Lake. You can't see. Visibility is going to be horrible no matter where you're going. Winston County, if you've got to travel anywhere in Winston County, this Highway 14 area from Macon, Mississippi, that is a 2-lane. Y'all be careful. And as well as we follow 19 all the way up, 15 up into the Louisville area. It is bad thick. We want you to get there safe. And this will go all the way up to State, Mississippi State, under all of this. Thick fog beyond what you can imagine. So the object of this is we got to remember there are school buses everywhere this morning. We're all trying to get somewhere. Drive extra slow, leave home early, headlights on low beam. Don't take any chances. It blinds others if it's on that high beam. We know that. Y'all be careful. We'll be right back. We're going to let's go ahead and get into the forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back to those record highs and record lows, 1974, a high of 85. Now we're looking at 83 today, so that's pretty warm, isn't it? As we look for the low, it was 1966. We had a low of 20 degrees today, far from that Mississippi and Alabama today. As we look across the state, 83 in Meridian, Philadelphia about 81. Could see just a smidgen of a light sprinkle early, and then otherwise partly sunny for the day. 80 in Columbus as we go to Natchez, 82, and even a little warmer as you head toward the coast through Hattiesburg at 84. Now let's move over into Alabama and just take a look, see what we've got. Demopolis, 82. Montgomery, Alabama, warmer today, high of 84, and we should see around 82 there in Livingston, Alabama, there at the university. As we look at this is another view of what the National Weather Service is telling us, and this should stay with us until 9 a.m. with all this fog. Quarter-mile visibility, and maybe in some cases even worse than that. It is thick. It is very significant in certain areas. Again, low beams. Be careful out there. As we look at the forecast, it says it's cooler, but I would promise you I saw 83 for high today. Yeah, it is. Warmer weather out to our west as it makes its way into Texas. And that 7-day forecast, let's go back and look at this. I'm jumping ahead of the game. 82 today. Now, we've got rain chances that will increase for the rest of the week. Wednesday, a 30%. By Thursday, 50%. Friday, 60%. Looks like Saturday is going to be perfect, though, doesn't it? Look at this. 75, 76. You couldn't ask for any more calmer weather for short sleeve work. Outside, enjoying yourself after work, pretty good there. Monday, we'll head back to work at 61, and still a slight chance of rain on Sunday when you go to church. As we do the outlook all the way through the 21st, there's nothing cool about any of this. The coolest day we'll see is 63 on the 14th. Through the 21st of March, 72. Not much big changes, is it? So that makes you think of fishing. What's Chet got to say today? Chet's Paint and Body tells us that the fishing looks like it's going to be great around 11:45 to 2 o'clock today. So head on out about lunchtime. Get there. You should have a pretty good day at fishing. It's always fun, especially on a spring-feeling light morning. Terry Robertson, how you doing? Tupelo, Mississippi. Foggy up that way. Be careful there. We can't thank y'all enough for coming by and spending a few minutes of your day with us. Now, we're coming back in roughly 16 minutes, 15 to 16 minutes. We're going to be back with the full morning show. Odie is back. Looking forward to it. We'll tell you what all's going on in Meridian. It's on the way here and in your areas as well, right here at the Scotty Ray Report. We'll see you soon.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: